Good evening to the people of Nevis, to the people of St. Kitts as well, and to all our citizens overseas who are following this broadcast. 4 years ago, my government determined that things on Nevis can no longer be business as usual. Since the opening of the Four Seasons Hotel in 1991, there was only one important investment on Nevis: the Medical University of the Americas. The economy has been driven by the activities of the Four Seasons and, to a lesser extent, the financial services industry and the medical university. Our people were economically trapped by this circumstance. Once the Four Seasons closed, as occurred in 1999 and again in 2008, the economic life of Nevis lapsed into paralysis, and our people suffered. For 14 years, under the Concerned Citizens Movement, hopes were raised by one false promise after the other. Most of these false promises occurred at election time, but to no avail. We, the people of Nevis, were promised 14 hotels in 14 years. Newfound, Hyatt, Apollo, Marriott, Hamilton, Mills, Ritz-Carlton, and a host of others. At the end of every election campaign, we continued at the mercy of the CCM and the Four Seasons Hotel. This government, my government, started up front on a program of change. Firstly, we seized on the opportunity presented by a new data company, Brownhill Communications. We drove out Clear Harbor and the operators, who employed only 3 to 7 persons. Today, Brownhill Communications are employing 187 persons, with plans to employ another 100. The CCM-led opposition gave legal and political support to Clear Harbor operations against the government, in spite of the job offers and obvious advantages to our people. We embarked on a major housing program, building over 283 houses, including the outstanding Cherry Gardens housing project at Prospect Estate. Again, the CCM-led opposition poisoned the minds of Nevisians against the project and claimed that we constructed houses even though no one was interested in them. However, Brownhill Communications has employed 170 persons. The housing project employed between 250 and 400 persons, thereby saving Nevis during the worst of the present recession and the closure of the Four Seasons. My government was satisfied and is satisfied that change must come. We embarked on an ambitious program to move away from diesel-powered produced energy. The advantages are obvious. 1, it is clear that the price of oil in the world will continue to rise. Locally produced energy at unchanging prices will benefit all Nevisians and Kittitians too. Cheap power must mean that we will attract more industries to Nevis. Once we succeeded with the cheap power, now we expect to be even more successful with cheap energy. We are fortunate to be supported by the Organization of American States, by the United Nations, the University of the West Indies, CARICOM and Iceland, and fortunate to attract foreign investment which cost Nevis not one penny. Again, the CCM-led opposition ridiculed the geothermal project. This sought to terrify the people of Nevis with false claims that our activity will cause earthquakes, that we will poison the people of Nevis. The government, in spite of this, has persevered, and we are now on the verge of success. Success that will lower energy costs, that will bring jobs, and place Nevis in a position to make excess energy available to St. at a good price that would bring relief to householders and provide jobs for Kittitians as well. The Nevis Treasury would, for once since 1983, experience a break in the shortage of funds for development. When Hurricane Omar came and caused the closure of the Four Seasons Hotel, this government gave outstanding representation. We represented that the workers should be kept on as long as possible. The hotel closed in October. For 5 long months, our people worked without one guest at the Four Seasons Hotel. Time for compensation came. They were well paid. They were paid promptly with the help and support of the federal government. The CCM-led opposition criticized the government for keeping our people informed. They stated that it was the job of the hotel management to do so. Some people even agreed with these outrageous statements, which really belittled the local politicians and indeed our people. We continued to support the Four Seasons Hotel. And when it became apparent that the hotel was financially challenged, the NRP government, without invitation, became directly involved. Again, with considerable support of the federal government, today we can boast that NRP has facilitated the reopening of the Four Seasons Hotel, which is now scheduled to take place on 15th December of this year. We are progressing towards building a major shopping center downtown Charlestown. The CCM-led opposition has instigated serious opposition from several interests and groups. They lost interest when they learned that the project was on hold because of the uncertainty surrounding the reopening of the Four Seasons Hotel. Now we know that because of the Nevis Reformation Party, that the Four Seasons Hotel is here to stay, they are too embarrassed to renew their tax on the shopping center. The Charlestown Shopping Center project will go forward in January of next year. As we seek continued development of this island, a young Nevisian businessman has brought together a group of investors to build a marine at Catesby. I am ashamed to say that on our island of Nevis, a group of homeowners have vowed to raise money to bring down the NRP government and to replace it with the CCM, who have stated publicly that they will close down the sewerage and are determined to stop the marina project. That will not deter this NRP government from the continued successful development of the beautiful island of Nevis, our island. And now I come directly to the latest disreputable behavior of the opposition. For the last 2 years, my government has sought to do something about the financial services industry, which was started in 1984. It has a total of 53,000 companies registered for this period. The figures sound huge, don't they? If you think so, I should hasten to add that is the same number of companies that the British Virgin Islands register in 1 year. Out of these 53,000 companies, there are really only 16,000 active companies on Nevis today. What does this mean for the industry?